Hey guys, yo, it's CarBuyer here in Singapore, and we've got BMW's most advanced car ever. It's the all-new and first ever iX. Now we've got this baby with us for a couple of minutes. We want to show you a whole bunch of cool things about this car, so come with me, we'll have a closer look. First things first, this is actually a sportier edition of it, so you can see all this black trim here. Nice and racy, even though this is an eco car. Now, one thing about the iX is it's a showcase of what something BMW calls shy technology. So there's a whole bunch of radar sensors behind this false grille here. And guess what? This actually has some kind of special self-healing coating. So you can scratch it, and even if it shows up, you just blow some hot air at it and it sort of heals itself within a couple of minutes. This bonnet underneath here is an electric motor, but you can't actually open this. You have to take it to a workshop if you want to get it open. What happens if you need to put some washer fluid into the tank? Well, that's actually the way to do it. And this is the only thing you can open at the front end of this car. How weird is that? Welcome to the inside of the BMW iX. Have a look at my ankle there. You can see it because it's so wide and expansive over here. Now, this is differently packaged from a regular car because it is an electric car from the ground up. So underneath me is a flat bank of batteries. There's a motor in front and a motor at the back, and so it creates a lot of room for the cabin. Like in a regular car that's been converted from combustion power, there would be a big transmission tunnel here, even though there's no transmission. Not this car though, so it really feels very spacious and expansive, and that's because it's been built that way. Now then, I'm using my David Attenborough voice inside the iX because you've noticed this is actually quite a posh car. There's this crystal top for the iDrive system, for example. It's crystal here, and even on the seat adjustments. I have to say, another thing I want to talk about is the shy tech that we mentioned earlier. Well, that's when functions are kind of hidden, but you know, they kind of emerge and they're there when you want to use them, and that's actually quite delightful in certain ways. This whole cabin actually feels very nice. You've got things like this electrochromic glass roof. You've got lovely metallic materials, and of course, just look at this upholstery here. It's so chocolatey and nice. It looks like you could almost reach out and lick that. So it does feel like a very expensive car, and you know, BMW says this is a flagship, and it really does feel like it when you sit inside. Okay guys, I want to start this baby up and show you something. So notice how big these screens are, and I don't know if you've noticed, but it's actually slightly curved towards the driver so you can see it much more clearly. And if you haven't noticed that it's curved, that just means it's been designed well. So I want to show you that this is the new BMW OS 8 system. So if you're familiar with OS 7, you've got to unlearn a lot of things and you've got to learn a lot of new ones. That's because things have moved around and there's new functions and stuff like that. This menu gives you an idea of all the things that you can do with this. There's a massage chair thing, for example, buried deep in the menu system. Something I want to show you is that to select a driving mode, you actually push this. Remember the old toggle switch? You press this and then 3 modes come up. And of course, efficient makes your car use less power. This one makes your car more sporty. Everything changes to match your mood. But I have to say, this used to be just one movement with a switch. Now you have to press here and then you have to press here. So that's one example of how things have changed in OS 8. But the system itself is much more snappy to use. The voice assistant is faster, and that's because this car has the most powerful processor in any BMW. So here I am in the back of the BMW iX, and have a look how spacious, and look at how much room my feet have. Again, there's no sort of prop shaft tunnel or anything to get in the way, so I've got loads of space for my feet, and it actually feels very roomy because of this glass roof here. Now, something I want to show you about this car, or tell you about this car, is that it's been built very sustainably. Some of the floor mats and headliners, for example, are made of EcoNile, so that's recovered netting, fish nets from the sea and other recovered plastics. There's actually 60 kilograms of recycled plastic material in this car. So it's not about recycling after the car is done, but even before you build the car. Half the aluminium in the car is already from secondary sources, so that saves energy right up front. And even, the seats, right? Look at the color. This rich brown dye for the leather actually comes from olive trees. There's actually olive tree motif at the front of the car to remind you that the color for this car has been derived from a very sustainable source. So this is not just a sustainable car to drive, but it's very sustainably built as well. check out this carbon fiber reinforced plastic here. Now that looks lovely, doesn't it? This shows you that there's a multi-material mix for the body of the car. There's some high-strength steel, some aluminium, and carbon fiber. Now this isn't a big carbon fiber piece, it's just a sheet that's bonded to the metal to strengthen it, and it's actually used in other areas of the car. That's something BMW has been using since the i3 and then the 7 series, and it's very clever because it lightens the structure but adds strength. So all in all, this is actually a very clever car, and I really love the fact that they left that unpainted so you could see all this cleverness in action. So that's our quick look at the BMW iX. Before I go, I just want to show you one last thing, which is these door handles here. Now they're kind of a slip-in handle here, and apparently they add a lot of aerodynamic efficiency. These handles alone apparently, allegedly add around 5 to 10 kilometers of range just by themselves. Now how cool is that? So we're going to drive this car a little bit more, and then we'll do our review and give you our full impressions right here on carbuyer.com.sg. Meanwhile, please give us a like, follow us, don't forget to share this with your friends, and we'll see you next time. Buy and sell cars smarter, better and faster on our marketplace, UCars, with thousands of great deals available from dealers island-wide.